you have to say, it was a dreadfully negative performance by Harrison, that.
Yes, it was, but we've had so many of those, we couldn't expect him to be any different. We know he is Audley Harrison.
Come on, Jim, not even when he's fighting for the world title, when he says it's his night of destiny. We accept that, do we?
Ian, we'll have to accept it, but I think his plan was to try to get through the early stages, to cover up and hopefully make some sort of impression when the pace slowed. He couldn't cope with David's power, he couldn't cope with his speed. All he could do was try and get some rounds by, but you can see here, completely gone, showing courage, staying up right there. I mean, at least 3 punches there should have put him on the floor, so we'll give him that credit. We couldn't expect him to do anything else. He's Audley Harrison, he spent a career doing this. Just not in the same class. As I said before the first bell sounded, he is a genuine world-class warrior. Harrison is not.
But we were invited to believe in the build-up to this fight that suddenly he would reinvent himself. Tonight it would all be different, well, but Ian, it wasn't different.
Ian, if you did believe that, it's your own fault.
No, I don't. I'm not saying I believed it.
Exactly, because he said it before every fight, and he said it after every fight, every comeback. But look at what he's taking here. This man, David Haye, is totally different class to Audley Harrison. We thought that when the match was made. Well, a little bit hypnotised with the talk of Harrison, but when push came to shove, different class altogether.
And he proved it, didn't he? We thought he was, and in the ring, after that dreadful opening round when nothing happened, Haye went to work, and once he got him going like this, there was only ever going to be one outcome.
Now, Audley managing to finish on his feet, which is a plus, but will he regret not even letting one big left hand go? That would be the big disappointment for me. Not once did he throw the big booming left hand that could have won him a world title. Didn't even throw it once. He landed one decent jab, and that was his contribution. I'm not shocked, slightly surprised, but let's remember Audley has done this so often in his previous career.
All credit to David Haye, who proves his worth with Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time. 1 minute 53 seconds in round number 3. Our referee in charge, Luis Pabon, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout, and still the WBA heavyweight champion of the world, the Haymaker, David Haye. And ladies and gentlemen, have a hand of recognition for the challenger, Audley A-Force Harrison.
Lennox Lewis, what do you make of that? He didn't look like he really came to fight Audley, but you've got to admire the power of Haye.
Well, you know, Haye did show some good power, but I was actually surprised that Audley, you know, he should have really took charge in the first couple rounds, threw a bit more punches. I was expecting a lot more out of Audley, and he just didn't really get it going tonight. And, you know, David Haye, you know, took his time and placed his punches correctly, and it seemed like his punches had a lot of power behind, a lot of sting behind it, and it really affected Audley, as you can see.
Well, there he is with the belt still around the waist. Let's hear from the Haymaker, David Haye, with Adam Smith.
David Haye, a sweet second defence of your WBA title. Were you always convinced you were going to crush Audley Harrison?
Yeah, I'm convinced I can crush anyone in the world. I'm in great condition, as you can see. I can punch and land punches whenever I choose to. That's why this fight went to the third round. I put a lot of money on the third round. A lot of my friends and family did, so I didn't want to let them down by doing them too early.
You're serious? That was the round you picked? That's why it was such a slow start?
Yeah, ask around. I told everyone I'd knock him out in 3 rounds, and that's exactly what I did. You know, no way was he going into that 4th round. I knew if he would have gave me something silly early, but he didn't. He was being very cautious. All I had to do was just apply myself a little bit more, and the shots would have landed. And that's how confident, that's how in control I am when I'm in there. I could have took him out earlier if I really put my foot on the pedal, but there was no need. I was being patient. I was waiting for him to give me the perfect opportunity to land my haymaker.
After all the talk and the hype, there were boos after the first couple of rounds because neither of you were doing anything really.
I knew that there was going to be a big third round. I knew the boos would turn into cheers in a matter of minutes. Adam wasn't fussed about that. He said to ignore it, and that's exactly what I did. I came back in the third round, like I said from the very first. But to ask a few reporters, I said after the weigh-in, after I looked him in the eyes, I knew that it wouldn't go further than 3 rounds.
Audley Harrison told us it was his destiny that he would knock you out with his left hand. He hasn't said anything else for about the last 10 weeks. He was bitterly disappointing, wasn't he?
Yeah, you know, one thing about me, when you look at videos of me fighting, I look like I'm easy to hit. But when you're actually in there fighting me, it's a completely different thing. I didn't give him the opportunity to land that left hand. I don't even know how many times he threw it, but it wasn't there for him to throw any. I was waiting for him to throw the left hand so I could counter it. He knew that. He knows me really well. But, you know, credit to him. He got himself in good shape, but maybe he could go on and fight someone else and win a title, but it's definitely not against me.
You proved again your power is so destructive. Now, going forward into 2011, the fight we all want to see is with one of the Klitschko's, Vitali or Vladimir. You can hear the crowd's reaction. We've got to make that happen, haven't we?
Next year, I promise that fight's going to happen. I know there's nowhere else for them guys to go. They're fighting the Hasim Ratmans, the Shannon Briggs. They're fighting all the guys everyone's bored of, you know. Audley Harrison is a character in the UK. People got behind him, and that's why this fight happened. Who wants to see him fight Shannon Briggs or some of these anonymous Americans, fat Americans coming over for a payday? No one wants to see that, so they've got no other options. They have to come and sit down at their table and talk sense, and we've got to get that fight happening next year.
You say talk sense, hand on your heart. Can you go in there and make the negotiations and even take a little bit less money or something to prove that you're the best heavyweight in the world? Because at the moment, there are question marks still.
Even if I knocked them both out, there'll still be question marks. That's the thing about boxing. There's always question marks, but I guarantee those fights will happen next year, and I guarantee I'll give him the same treatment as Audley Harrison got, and that's a knockout.
David, congratulations. You keep your world title. Have you got a message for Audley Harrison after all the needle and the dislike?
Yeah, you know, we straightened it out once and for all in the ring. You know, there's a lot of disputes going on in the world, and it's a shame you can't go and get in a ring over 12 rounds and settle them. But, you know, I think the bad blood's gone now. You know, I've known Audley for many years, and, you know, I'd like to, you know, take him out for a drink after this.
That's nice to hear. Wonderful occasion, wonderful atmosphere. Not a great fight, but a wonderful knockout win for you. Well done, David.
Great finish. Go.
David Haye showing some dignity and victory there. The best of enemies, the best of friends now, he says. But he cuts a very lonely figure, doesn't he? Audley Harrison really didn't show up tonight. The big fight analysis is on the way next.